Okay, now let's learn how to make a full C chord. And a full C chord is going to sound like this. Now remember, we've learned how to make a simple C chord, and that's by playing just the top 3 strings like this. So we used our pointer finger on the 1st fret, 2nd string, and strummed the top 3 strings to get this sound. Remember, we're just strumming the top 3. So now we're going to add a few extra notes to give it a nice full sound, like that. So let's start with that simple C chord. And one thing to point out too is just make sure that the E string, or the E note on the 1st string here, which is an open note, is ringing out nice and clear when you do that. It's easy for you to kind of accidentally let this finger touch this string, which might give you a muted sound. So you want to make sure before we start that you get each one of those is ringing out clear like that. So now we're going to take our middle finger and we're going to put it on the 2nd fret, 4th string like that. And so what you end up with is a shape like that. So you've got 2 fingers on the fretboard. Both of them are arched almost exactly the same way. Now you've got double the problem now, because just like this finger, your 1st finger couldn't touch the E string, or the 1st string. Now this, you got to make sure that your middle finger doesn't touch the 3rd string, or the D note, so that it can ring out nice and clear too. So that's going to be your challenge in the beginning, is just making sure that everything rings out the way it should. And if it doesn't, just keep adjusting your fingers. Make sure that nothing is touched, that your fingers aren't touching strings that they shouldn't be. That's going to be your #1 problem when trying to create these chords in the beginning. So now that we've got these 2, let's add the last finger to create this open position C chord, which is our ring finger. And we're going to put it on the 3rd fret, 5th string like that. So now we've got 3 fingers on the fretboard. This finger is right here on the 3rd fret, 5th string, 2nd fret, 4th string, and 1st fret, 2nd string. So you can see that's kind of the shape. Every finger is kind of arched like that, kind of like you're making a claw. And the reason that you have to arch them like that is you have to make sure that they're pinpointing right down on the string and not touching other strings. You know, when we get into some of the bar chords and things, you'll actually want your fingers to touch other strings, but not in these open position chords. You want those open notes to ring out. So there is what the shape looks like on the C chord. And when you strum it, now this is important. When we made the G chord, the open position G chord, we strummed all 6 strings like this. However, when we're playing the open position C chord, we're only playing 5 strings. So we're only playing these 5. We're actually not playing the 6th string. So most open position chords, well, it's a mixed bag. I was going to say most you're playing all 6, but that's not exactly true. There is a mixed bag. Some you're playing all 6. Some you're playing, 5. When we played the D chord, you remember we were only playing 4. So it's a common mistake that people make to think that you're strumming all 6 strings once you make a chord. Well, that's not the case. You know, when you get into bar chords and things, it will be the case, or that open G. But when we're playing this open position C chord, we're not going to be playing we're not going to be playing on all 6 strings, just the top 5. So just pay attention to that. So there you have it. There's the open position C chord.